What is good? We're back. We got some moves to make. Market watch for week 3 brought to you by ProfitX. Big Co back in the saddle. How you doing, bud?
I think I'm all right. I had to take a bunch of vitamin Bs. The throat's killing me. Head's pounding. Head's basically in 2 pieces right at this moment, but we're good. Playing hurt, as they say.
Yeah. Well, we got some players we want to take a look at here, see where the market's at, see if there's some moves that we could be possibly making here. 2 of the guys are guys who just got a big upgrade for injury. We got Trey, Benson, we got Skattabo on the docket. We got Quinshon Judkins on the docket here. Then we got Etienne, who's been still getting a decent amount of run here. And then we're going to end with Pearsall and Pickens. Might have another guy or 2 for your pleasure if we're moving fast at the end. But let's kick it off with Trey Benson. We had an unfortunate injury to James Conner, right? We never want to see that. It's always a bummer. But this is why you draft players like Trey Benson reasonably high, because of really solid handcuff, right? And so last week we saw the Cards kind of have a snap percentage of 45 to 52, Benson to Conner, and then a route percentage really high for Benson, 55%, 27 for Conner. But the attempt was still 50% Conner, 13% Benson. And we were kind of seeing a similar thing kind of break down. Benson was getting more on the field here, but I'm saying all that because you had an injury in the week. So don't expect Conner to just come out here and just take all the carries moving forward. Yep. Don't think that DeMercado or somebody else might not come in here and work a little bit of a closer rotation to Benson to Conner that we were seeing, and maybe even a little closer. But they drafted Benson for a reason, right? They got a lot of capital invested in him. You've seen here and there what he can do. Solid as a pass catcher. I felt like as his rookie year went on, he got more physical and more tough throughout the season there. By the end of the year, I was really liking what he was putting down on tape. And this year, I feel like he's been good. Ripped off a good run at the end of that Niners game. I believe it was just under 30 yards. And that's what he can do. He can bang around, and then he can rip you one off. I think he's an underrated receiver. So I think the Cards are in good position. They want to run a decent amount, and Conner was a big part of that and gives you that physicality. But I don't think it's a terrible step down in kind of the attitude that Benson brings. What?
You said he could bang you around and rip you one off. I mean, I tried to hold it together. That's good. That's Benson, bang, 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 and then he shoots it right up in there.
All day long, foot up a dog's ass. Bang, bang, bang. Little Friday for you. So let's look at the market. Actually, what's your thoughts on Benson here? Is this a buy, sell, or hold? Would you be selling if because you've potentially got a stock rise here? Are you holding because you're excited, or are you buying, trying to go find some Benson before maybe the cat goes out of the bag?
Yeah, good question. I know this is a Dynasty show, but in my one and only redraft league, I got Benson on the bench, and I put him on the trade block about 30 minutes ago just to see what could happen in a redraft scenario, as in I need some wide receiver help. I got really good running backs all over the place. And it's like, all right, well, if I trade Benson away and he becomes this monster stud, it is a redraft. It is a keeper league. It's my first year in the league. It's some funky rules here, but like it's not like a Dynasty league where I'm, sold out for it. I need, see home league with all the bragging rights. Like, don't want to mess this up kind of trade. Like, I just put him on the block. Dynasty league, don't want to mess it up no matter what. I don't have a big strong conviction about it right this second. Like I think with the inability for the Cardinals offense to look smooth all the time, this could be really good for Benson potentially, because they do have Marvin Harrison, which the defense needs to pay attention to him if he's going to catch the passes, right? And they have a stud tight end and what's his name? McBride. So McBride's a studly, and they got to pay attention to him. And then you're going to give away some vision, and you're going to give away some, just awareness, right? His Madden rating awareness is going to be much lower than James Conner, right? But Benson could come in there and all of a sudden add something that this offense has been lacking, which is explosion, And I think they were, you laid it out. It's not like he was starting from zero week 1, he was on the field making a couple plays here and there. And yes, are they going to miss Conner as a leader? For sure. And as a pure running back, when things aren't there, and instead of getting tackled for -3 yards, he actually gets 2. There's a lot of value in that and not getting blown up. but I think the dynasty value of Benson right now is harder for me to put my hands on than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I've got two offers in my inboxes for Benson in two different leagues. One's a 27 first, and one is a Chris Godwin for Trey Benson. So
yeah, negative. I'm keeping Benson, but the 27 first would have me interested in, like, if it's my team and I'm offering you the first and I got the best team in the league, which is kind of like how I play it, then I'd probably hold Benson. But if it's like a medium lowish bad team like yours usually are, like I would probably, I'd be interested in taking that, top 5, top 6 rookie draft pick in 2027. You're not messing it up if you make that trade, right?
Yeah.
But you could. This is really more of the Quinshon Judkins situation. Like you could, the price could double for Benson in 2 weeks.
Right.
The price could double in 2 weeks. I think the price could double for Judkins next week.
But we'll talk about Judkins in a minute.
Right. Yeah. So I think a 27 first, like that's solid. I mean, you didn't pay a first round pick to get him. Not that it doesn't matter what you paid for him. That's gone. It's over with. But I'm just saying, it's not like even, sometimes if you give a second round pick for a player and he goes into garbage and he comes back up and you're like, dude, I can get my second round pick back, or I can get a third round pick back because I didn't think I had anything. That's cool. Benson never really went away. He just was. We knew when you took him in the rookie draft that Connor was a good running back.
Patience and some people were probably a little more that Connor stinks because that's just kind of how people are. And then Connor has a great year. And but here we are. So, and it all depends. Like the one team I'm 0-2 and I took over an orphan and I'm a rebuilder and I got a 27 first. The other team I'm 2-0 and have a good team. And I'm definitely not trading them for Chris Godwin. So and that one was one that I'm not trading him for is an OG league that non-super flex. The other one's super flex. So I may have drafted Benson. I may have drafted Benson at 112 in the non-superflex league potentially, but that's not the one I have the first in the superflex league that I have the first in. I probably drafted him, mid second. So that would be an upgrade. Unsure of what to do there because a young, good player. So let's see where we're at here. We got a 26 first, 2 QB full PPR. I see a lot of 26 and 27 firsts out here for Benson. So that does look like proper market right now. And these are trades that happened today on Sleeper, according to the Dynasty Daddy website here that we are using to power this episode. So what do you think about that? 26 first for Benson. What's good? The phrase, the house always wins. Well, not anymore with our new sponsor, ProfitX. ProfitX is America's #1 sports prediction market. It's a peer-to-peer sports prediction market where users play against each other instead of a sports book versus the house. You almost always get the best price on any spread, money line, total, or player prop since you're playing against other people rather than the book. Looks and feels like a sports book, but with way better odds. So what are you waiting for? Go down the app, download the app, and get to work. Use promo code FFD and claim up to $200 in profit cash on all plays for the first 30 days of playing on site. Terms and conditions apply, of course. We're early in the week. It's Monday here, so we don't have a ton of options just yet. But as the week goes on, ProfitX gets better and better and better. More peers signing up to challenge you and more liquidity available. So lots of good stuff as goes on, and we'll have some other reads for you. But right off the rip, the one that I found interesting, Philly, Tampa, home dogs for Tampa Bay, 3.5. Weather initial report's going to be hot in Tampa next week. So you got Philly going down south, Tampa, who's just been a tough team to deal with, hard to kill. So I'm early on here. First thing for ProfitX this week, I'm looking at Tampa Bay home dog plus 3.5. Love that little hook right there. So make sure you log in, promo code FFD, ProfitX. Check it out. Peace.
If the offer is coming from the best team in the league and you're giving him Benson, I could hold on to Benson. If the guy that's trying to get Benson, trying to give you a first is 1 and 2, and you're like, he don't even have a second wide receiver, or he doesn't have a tight end to play, or if like Benson ain't going to fix all his problems, I can see you getting rid of Benson for a 20, top 5, top 6, 2026 first. It's not going to hurt my feelings. If Benson comes out here and he's a top 5 running back, that's going to suck. And, that's going to hurt, but he could also be a mid RB2 guy, Breece Hall put in the cellar. Right.
Yeah.
So He could come out here and literally average 15 points a game, and Brees Hall stunk.
Honestly, I think it's likely to see Trey Benson come out here and be a 15 point to 20 point
Me too.
A game player, right?
There's a big, obviously touchdown kind of
right.
skew
It's
that
going to
every
all
week,
depend on touchdowns, but I think 12 to 15 points is what I think you can expect from Benson week in, week out. They this is what the Cardinals want to do. They want to establish it, and Connor being a big part of that. We saw how good Connor was last year, and pretty much this exact same offense.
Well, if Benson's catching passes and he's getting you 15 points a week, and then on the touchdown weeks he gets you 20, that could be massive. I
mean, he had 3 receptions only for 9 yards, but if you can give me 3 for 15 each week, and with a chance to maybe bust one off it. And like I said, DeMercado comes in and catches a couple of balls. Don't be alarmed that was already kind of happening with what they were doing. So I just wanted to establish that. Here's a bad trade. Trey Benson and a 2 for Egbuka. Don't do that.
Keeping
Egbuka is absolutely, you got to be going up if you're trading away Egbuka.
Great trade to mention though, Casey. If you got Benson right now, you in all your leagues, you should be offering Benson in a 2 for Egbuka, because it happened somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. You're probably going to get shot down, but you got to try that.
Yeah, we mentioned after week 1, or maybe it was even week 2, like Egbuka, you'd only want to trade him to go up to like a St. Brown or something along those lines, right? That's what I know Chev traded Egbuka for St. Brown, right? So I think end of week 1 or something like that. So that's what you want to go up a tier for there. But yes, you're right there. So like I said, a lot of firsts for Trey Benson. Like there's a couple of mediocre trades here for like Ray Davis and a 3rd for Trey Benson. That's a bad trade.
Yeah.
Diggs in a 2nd for Trey Benson,
keeping Benson in both of those deals.
Jordan Love single quarterback,
Benson,
right? 27 first and Caleb Johnson or Benson.
Random 2027 first. I'm probably just keeping Benson still, unfortunately, for the Caleb Johnson guys in the room.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen anything from him. What can you do?
Yeah,
he's just sitting on the bench. I don't mind that 27 and the Caleb Johnson together for what could be, but as the days go on, it's
certainly better than just the first.
Right. And of course, obviously I'm a Trey Benson I'm a Trey Benson guy and a
Caleb
Johnson guy. So,
but that's a perfect way to pick up Caleb Johnson for cheap, right? Like if I'm not.
Get a little add-on.
Gone are the days where you're giving a 1st-round pick next year for Caleb Johnson. You don't have to do that. You might be able to pick up Caleb Johnson for a late 2 and a late 3 or 2 3s. I mean, depending on the guy in panic mode, right? Like if you're like the first question you had was 2027 first. You have an offer for 2027 first currently for Trey Benson, and it's like, all right, well, kind of up in the air about that. I was want to play the good team versus bad team game. And it's this time of the years, you might be able to tell the polar ends in the middle. All those guys are all mixed up, but like, this is a really good team. This is a bad team. Okay. Late first, early first. You could probably at least gauge that a little bit. Like you got the first of a random first, and Caleb Johnson sounds a lot better than just a random first by itself.
How many good games does it take for the price to go above a first and get into some other running back territories? Because the first thing, it's an ACL, I think, for Connor. The first thing people are going to say is this it for Connor, right? And so is it now Trey Benson's team? And if he comes out and shows that he is, like, what's the level of that you go up? So I'm kind of inclined to hold, because I like what Trey Benson is, and I like what the identity of the Cardinals is for the running back that's there.
I like where your head's at. Here's the thing, and Benson can give you, it's the excitement factor,
right?
Like if Benson got hurt and Connor was the new grinder, and Connor is going to get you 18 points with 80 yards rushing, unexciting, couple catches and a touchdown. Like if Benson gets you 18 points, the same exact fantasy points, but one of them is a 40-yard touchdown scamper. And we see that, he breaks loose and he gets, 35, 40-yard run, either jukes the safety or just if he stiff arms the safety, if he just pushes somebody down and hits that 4.3 speed, 4.4, early 4.4s, right? Like that's the excitement factor.
Speed.
Will jump that. It'll advance it. It'll make the price go up faster than you having to see him earn it, like a David Montgomery situation where like you got to see him earn it 5, 6, 10 weeks in a row, where every week he's 17, 18 points. Like, all right, this dude's really good, and it's there. He's got the volume. If he's there and he's got the volume and he hits a 40-yard run or a catch and run, a swing out to the flats and he takes off and hits you a 40-yard touchdown, then it's just, the wheels will be up and the jet will be taken off.
Yeah. All right. Let's hop over to the next guy who just caught just a great amount of opportunity here. We don't know how long but it's dislocated shoulder for Tyrone Tracy, which they came into this week saying they wanted to get Cam Skattabo more work. And then what we see a ridiculous amount of work for Tracy to start the game off. And we don't know how that would have played out. But then, he goes out and it almost immediately signifies he's pretty injured. And so Cam Skattabo, he comes in, he has a nice game. He's kind of, a shining light for them right now, right? Comes in, he's got a 25% target share, which is obviously outstanding. They really couldn't get anything else going in the passing game. Neighbors did nothing. Wandale did nothing. Just Slayton had a couple grabs here and there, but 6 targets for 61 yards and then added another 60 yards on 10 attempts on the ground and got the TD. So he's kind of in an interesting spot because he comes off of he's a rookie where Benson wasn't the rookie. Myself included, a lot of people liked him, but I felt like it was going to be like it's been for the past couple of weeks where we just don't know when to use him if him and Tracy are around. But now it's wheels up. Cam Skattabo is going to be, Devin Singletary is going to work in some here, right? But it's not going to be like Tracy being in the way of Skattabo, right? He's going to be the guy, and he's going to have a chance here to really shine and grab a hold of something. And I think it's gonna be something where he is going to be somebody like we were just talking. I don't think it's going to take very long for people to be like, oh my God, I got to have Cam Skattabo. Right.
He's fun. And I mean, he doesn't have that breakaway, like long speed factor that I was just talking about.
You're going to be so enamored. Like you said, it's fun. Every game, the commentators are going to be, oh my God,
drooling over him, breaking tackles and running people over.
Oh my God, dude, it's Skattabo.
Well, and he catches the ball and he's good at it, right? Like that. That was an argument you and I were having about Tracy versus Skattabo in the offseason. And you're like, well, Tracy used to be a receiver. And I'm like, well, Skattabo's receiving production and receiving profile is better than anything that Tracy put together as a receiver, as a 235-pound running back. So I think I just mentioned the David Montgomery accumulate the points. Like he's a grinder and he's fun, not exactly breakaway like Trey Benson, but the catches, because he is such a good receiving back. I think the PPR points are going to be there. I mean, they already had 6 catches last night,
I don't imagine it'll be like that because I think they were kind of stymied elsewhere. And so they were just taking some bits and pieces here that Neighbors isn't going to be 2 for 13, every week. And Wandale's not going to get shut down. They were having a tough time against that Chiefs defense, which is, obviously a very, very good defense.
A lot of people do. Do.
But
especially when your quarterback is Russell Wilson.
Here we got some trades here. Skattabo for a 2. It's been super flex, half point premium. That's basically what you paid for him in a lot of cases. So no thanks.
Not even close. Skattabo all day long.
Skattabo for Rashee Rice. Like, give me the Rashee Rice side, but that's a great move.
That's a good trade.
Skattabo or a 26 first, Skattabo and a 26 first or Brian Thomas. Like, that's a good move there. Brian Thomas struggling a little bit, so you can pop him off, and Skattabo coming in and getting the road cleared for him. Like, you'd never be able to make that move.
3 weeks ago, that was an impossible move. That's a good play there. I mean, that's capitalizing on the buy low, sell high definition, right? Skattabo's on the way up, Brian Thomas on the way down. Like, you'd never make that play. Nobody would give you any. You would get laughed out of the trade streets a month ago if you sent that offer. So I don't have a problem with that.
Here's a fun one. Cam Skattabo or Javonte Williams and 3 26 seconds.
3 2s and Javonte Williams.
Yeah, or Skattabo. See, here's my thing with that is like I've had a lot of success with multiple 2s.
Yeah.
Where you
power
can
and leverage.
You got like draft. You could scatter shot through the second and I hit with 2 or 3 of those, or like you got a lot of power. You probably still have your own 2, so you probably now at least have 4. You got Javonte Williams. You could probably trade him for. You could probably add a 2 or something to him, and maybe get a first for him from somebody. So that's a pretty interesting one. In general, I'm like, what's that?
I don't hate it. I mean, I'm a Skattabo guy, but I don't hate it.
Sure.
Javonte Williams' volume is very safe headed towards the middle of the season.
Yeah, he looks like
Nice sneeze.
yeah, he looked like he was having a resurgence there, getting back to kind of where he's been, and maybe he gets re-signed with the Cowboys or goes somewhere else, but he's giving you what the doctor ordered right now, right this season. So Cam Skattabo and Tillman, or a 26 first.
Skattabo and Tillman.
Yeah, I don't hate that, because I feel like a lot of people were so there was this is super flex half point premium. So Skattabo was probably right outside the first in that draft for a lot of people, right? So and I like Cedric Tillman, so I don't hate that. You're getting two players that could possibly potentially. Well, Skattabo is going to be in your starting lineup until Tracy's back, and how long is that? Who knows? And then Tillman, if they can get competent quarterback play, Tillman's definitely a third wide receiver or a flex play right now.
Yeah, I would take the pick if you can say, hey, this is a bottom 2-3 player pick. If they're part of that middle I was describing earlier, and they're all over the place, and that could be the 1-9, who knows? Like, I'll take Skattabo and Tillman. But if it's like, hey, that team sucks and he doesn't have anybody, I'll take the pick.
Yeah, Cam Skattabo and Nico Collins for Ladd McConkey and a first. Two quarterback.
Skattabo and Ladd for Nico and a first.
No, Skattabo and Nico for Ladd and a first.
Okay.
I think I'm on the Skattabo and Nico side there.
Me too. Nico, as bad as it looks, he's 20 points 2 weeks in a row. Bad first week, right? Still Nico for me.
Yeah. Rome Odunze, Dylan Sampson, Cam Skattabo for Monungai and Genty.
Rome Odunze, Cam Skattabo, and who?
Sorry, I clicked the button already. Rome Odunze, Dylan Sampson, and Skattabo for Monungai and Genty.
I mean, it seems it's probably still Genty, but Rome Odunze is
looking like a stud.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This one wasn't on there. It was just Fannin for Skattabo. But if it was full point tight end premium, is it still Skattabo?
No,
it's Fannin.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just seeing where you're at with the Fannin.
If 1.5 tight end, just 1.5 tight end premium, I'm taking Fannin.
Just 1 point tight end premium.
Just for like 2 points every time he catches the ball.
Yeah,
Fannin for sure.
Yeah. All right, that's a little Skattabo action for you.
And that, like, I get it. Fannin just had like 3 for 40. It's not week 1 anymore where he broke the record for most catches in a game, first game of the season for a rookie tight end. I get it, but like, writing's on the wall. Fannin's a stud, and maybe the Browns don't play. He came out, opened the season, big plans for this guy, and so like, the Browns have just peppered Njoku with targets for 5 years now, right?
Yeah,
and so I don't know. Maybe Stefanski loses his job. If he didn't have the best defense in the league, he probably would have been fired already. But just saying, like, that's whatever's going on over there with their tight end situation. They like Fannin a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And in premium, I got the Dynasty premium. I got to go with Fannin just because Skattabo is not long for this game. And I don't mean that. I mean that in the best way possible.
Right.
He plays awesome, right? I said, Puka doesn't seem like he could play for 10 more years either, right? We're going to enjoy the ride. But we're not going to. We're not talking about dynasty trades 10 years from now. I get it. I'm just saying, like, Skattabo, all the memes out there are him finish. The way he finishes runs is like they got a dump truck plowed into a concrete wall, right? Like this man plays with his face mask, and he ain't worried about getting hurt, and that's awesome for us as fans, but tough for the young man whose body's no way he can hold up to that for too long, right?
Yeah. So this one real quick as we lead into Quinshon Judkins here, we got Skattabo and a 27-3 or Harvey, Caleb Johnson, and Luther Burden. I'm taking the package of the 3.
I'll take the package too. I mean,
One
Luther Burden
quarterback.
could be a stud. RJ Harvey, I mean, we talked about a little bit of this for a split second this morning on the football show, but like J.K. Dobbins is good, man. Yes, I did undersell the difference that would make for RJ Harvey in my fantasy lineup week 1, right? I undersold that. I did say J.K. Dobbins is good, but I said Sean Payton had a plan. Guess what? His plan is to try to win ball games. And right now, J.K. Dobbins, while he's healthy, he's a stud. And I guarantee you the Chargers wish they still had him if they knew he was going to be playing this good.
Sure.
They probably, like they saw him last year and he got a little worn down at the end and he was, couldn't, but he went. I always pull for J.K. Dobbins. He's had horrible injury luck, and every time he's on the field, he's one of the best runners in the league.
Yeah.
So it's just undeniable talent, and his vision is ridiculous. He always knows where to go. And right now, that's bad for RJ Harvey fantasy points.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for more FFD, sign up for a Patreon or YouTube membership and get access to the ADP, Dynasty rankings, the rookie draft kit, and extra shows every week.
All right, let's move over to Judkins. We have, for me, this is more of we just, hadn't practiced a whole lot, came back, got 18 carries, 94 yards in a target. So I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of people rushing to sell you Quinshon Judkins right now, but I feel like I'd want to go try to get ahead of this train and see what it's going to take if I can get him off. And maybe it's a mistake. Like you said, maybe Stefanski goes, but like I feel like they want to get back to 12, running the ball, playing some defense. If we could just get mediocre quarterback play, we're a solid playoff team, right? And so for me, I'd be going in here tomorrow, today, whenever you listen to this, and going to see acquire what the price is before it gets any higher, right? And there's probably got to be at least some people who are still a little on edge from the situation over the summer with Judkins and all that stuff. So there may still be some uneasy owners that you could go and not have to pay terribly more than what they just paid for him. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at Judkins right now. I gotta like, for my guy Chev, we got to go get in the cement aisle and we got to do some man stuff. And, I got calloused hands. Plenty of man stuff going on over here. We're just building stuff. So I know that feeling, right? It's not much more satisfying feeling than when you're doing man stuff all day and coming back and I made that. So Quinshon Judkins or Kyron Williams?
Oh, Judkins.
Juddies.
Oh,
Juddies.
Yeah, that was an easy
Judkins.
The problem with this, and the problem with this is at the early drafters before the trouble came up, they boys were paying 1.3, 1.4 for Judkins.
Some of them, sure.
Like Judkins went really early in some of my drafts, and then of course the trouble came up, and then in the home league, I think you got him at 1.9, right? So that was a one quarterback league. Like it just there's a very like wide range for a first round draft pick, because of what happened in the middle of the summer for this guy with the draft for the prices paid.
There's some juicy trades on here right now.
I can't. Give me him. I
mean, this one's Derrick Henry or Judkins.
Judkins,
right? Judkins and a first next year, tight end premium, 1 point and 2.2 quarterback or Nico Collins.
Judkins in a first or Nico?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's tough. That's juicy. That's a tough. And you said it's a 1 point tight end premium, so 2 points to and so that's just given the context of the value of that first round pick. So
right,
first round pick next year, you got
even more valuable.
Yeah, much more valuable because the tight ends get pushed up the board. The quarterbacks, you said, is 2 quarterback. So that's a very valuable first round pick. So Judkins and a very valuable first round pick are Nico. Dang, dude. Probably Nico, but 2 weeks from now, that trade might be Nico for Judkins straight up.
Yeah.
And it's hard to imagine it because it's the Browns and it's Joe Flacco, right? It's hard to imagine it. But like you said, he's got 5 practices with the team. He just came in there. He run against the Packers defense that maybe they were exhaling because they were playing. This is the NFL, right? I get it. It's only week 3, and everybody says should still be running around like they've been sniffing, playing smelly salts. But the Packers just came out and hosed cats for 2 weeks. big time games, and they were getting all the love, and all of a sudden they're on the top of the power rankings, and they're this and they're that, and then they go to the lowly Browns and they get smacked up. And they could have easily won the game, but I'm saying like the Browns defense versus the Packers offense, it wasn't a fun day for the Packers offense. And it's hard to imagine it for the Browns, but Judkins look good. And Joe Flacco gives him zero quarterback maneuverability. Like he's got nothing outside the pocket at all to give the defense anything else to look at. But he knows where to go with the football. Pressure's in his face. Hopefully he throws it away or checks it down. But it's just if they play anywhere on time, on script, like Judkins is gonna look really, really good.
Yeah, Judkins or Krosky Merritt. That's Judkins.
Judkins, not even close.
Yeah. Judkins and a first or JSN. So somebody's trying to go tear up a little.
Judkins in a first.
Judkins
I like
in a first.
JSN, but that's putting
JSN is on fire right now.
I know. He's outscoring Nico. I get it.
That's a tough one for me.
Judkins in a first.
Probably Judkins in a first, but boy, oh boy, Sammy D and JSN have something absolutely cooking, and JSN is
Sammy D. Sammy D didn't die. Sammy D didn't die in Seattle. I love it.
This is a fun trade. Judkins or Breece Hall in a first.
I get Breece in a first. I'll take it.
I think I'm on that side too. Breece Hall can give you, obviously the last 2 weeks have not been good. The first week was good. Jets were just in a hole getting beat up. He did have a decent amount of receptions in this last game. We know how good Breece Hall is. Yeah, after week one, when we saw what Breece Hall was and how fast he looked and how quick he is, like if we could get out of Jets purgatory, he's still going to have a really good season by the time everything's all said and done with the Jets once Fields is back in there. So I think I tend to agree with you there. Judkins or Drake London, straight up.
Oh boy, where is Drake London and Penix connection at? God, Drake London. Oh, that one's tough.
Give me Drake. I think you got to go.
That's way than it should be, man. For our Drake London stock, that's way tougher than it should be. I mean, dang it. That's terrible. It should be Drake London, but 2 weeks from now, it could be Judkins. Easy.
Yeah. Ricky Pearsall in a second or Judkins?
Judkins, and I love Pearsall. You're not going to give me too many trades where I'm not taking the Pearsall side, but it's Judkins.
Cam Ward, 2 quarterback, and a second, 27 second, or Quinshon Judkins?
Life comes at you fast. Like we talked about taking Cam Ward at 1-2, 1-3 in the Superflex draft because it's so hard to find a quarterback. And Cam Ward has done nothing but show that he's a good quarterback. If Calvin Ridley was catching the ball, right? Cam Ward, the story around Cam Ward, if Calvin Ridley has had balls that he could catch, and there's a lot been a lot on Cam Ward's plate, and Ayumander looks like he could be a beast in the making, and a lot of things could work out for Cam Ward still. And I got no less faith than Cam. Actually, I got more faith in Cam Ward than I had 2 weeks ago, and I like Cam Ward. But the trains are running for Judkins, and if you don't jump on quick, you might not be able to get on.
I'm going to stick with Cam Ward there. Just
I don't think there's a wrong side of that trade right this minute, and it might take a year to.
Yeah, I think so. I think for a while you're going to be saying it's Judkins, and then all of a sudden there's probably going to be a flip, and it might be halfway through this season, it might be next season.
Yeah, it might be 2 years from now, and you could be winning that trade for a while.
I think Cam Ward has shown me nothing but being able to be competent as a quarterback and put up some points. So, all right, we got what else we got here? We have Genty or Judkins.
I mean,
I wanted to talk about Genty in this episode, but we're going to probably do a full rookie breakdown next week.
I would still I'd still lean Genty.
Yeah. All right, Judkins or Egbuka?
Egbuka.
I think so too. Travion Henderson or Quinshon Judkins and 2 seconds and 22nd.
Yeah.
2:27 seconds and Quinshon Judkins or Travion Henderson.
Is Judkins going to catch passes? Is Travion Henderson going to get handoffs? Right? Like just at some point, like if this would have been the coolest week 1 running back situation ever if Judkins didn't have the problems, because the heat for Travion was ridiculous and Genty was Genty. And obviously the wheels didn't fall off for some of the other running backs yet. So that just would have been the best. So we had to wait on Judkins, and here he is. Man, if you put them against each other right this minute, I would probably side with Judkins' safety of the consistency ahead of us, but like it should be the PPR upside of Travion. Like even last week, yesterday after the fumble from Ramondre Stevenson, like Patriots got a lot of things going on right now. They're trying to fix themselves too. They got a young quarterback, rookie running back, rookie, young people, Vrabel transition, right? There's a lot going on there. It should be Travion should be the next Gibbs. Like that's what we wanted to do. That's what we were giving. He made got the kickoff in the preseason, ran it back, looked faster than everybody on the field. For the life of me, I don't know why he was back there running kickoff the next week. That was stupid. Like it's a preseason game. What are you doing? He caught the ball. He ran it back one time. Like, what are we doing in preseason? Having your new toy back there again? But yeah, it's a splitting hairs. I mean, today it's Judkins, but next week it's Judkins you can't go wrong. Just be happy you got one of them, right? These running backs coming in are remaking the Dynasty running back landscape, and just be happy to have one.
Yeah. Judkins is looking good. Like you said, the train's running. Go out and send a first and find something to add to it. Whether it's I'd love to add, like, could I take Trey Benson and add a first to it and go get Quinshon Judkins, right? Can I do that? Can I add, or can I start with a second and see where it is? Like, what can I go add and put some interesting stuff together? Like, I don't want to do, a couple of those are really high end trades, which is great to talk about, but like, that's not what I'm talking about doing right now. I'm talking about going to try to fish a little more for Trey or for Quinshon, pay them a little bit more than they paid for him and see if I can steal them off the roster right now.
I like that. It does look really good. A gutsy offer to make, taking your newfound Trey Benson value, adding a first round pick, and going to get Judkins
or Skattabo or whoever. We just happen to talk about those two guys. Go take a little bit more money that just got, all of a sudden it went from silver to gold. Gold's at an all time high. Let's see if we can cash this thing in for some uranium. All right, let's touch on Travis Etienne real quick, because he was, snap counts and who was going to be what. Still hanging on to a 54% snap share, still hanging on to a 66% attempt share. His route participation, 27%. And actually, Allen has got the highest route participation at 41%, but still only 2.5 target share for each running back on this team in this particular week. It's been better for Etienne in some other games, but he's averaging 16.2 points per game. Tootin got a touchdown in this one, which helped him out as far as what was going on. But Etienne didn't do any, he didn't Ramondre Stevenson this game at all, right? He hasn't given you any reason to not give somebody else a bunch more work, right? So do you capitalize on that right now? Or, we've always kind of been camp Etienne for the most part, but it doesn't mean just because we were camp Etienne because the value was down doesn't mean that we're like, oh yeah, you got a whole look. I think Etienne's good. Is he going to be in Jacksonville next year? Probably not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Solid player. If he's your featured guy, he could be just fine. He could get you 16 points. He's been the RB3, right? And volume and yada, yada. Yeah. A lot of running backs need volume to be the RB3.
They all do. You're not
solid player, but do you pivot here off of him, or do you double down and try to get more? Because, what's your quick overview of Etienne, and then I'll throw a quick couple trades at you, and we'll move on to Ricky Pearsall and end this thing.
Well, I got no problem if you can find an ET guy in the room. Maybe you got same guy has
like Chase Brown. Would you swap Etienne for Chase Brown right now since Chase Brown's down?
Probably. Not if he's my every week if Etienne's my every week starter. If Etienne's on my bench, I could probably grab a Chase Brown and just say, hey, we'll run it back and see if Jake Browning can start giving Chase Brown some checkdowns here. The way the offense is going to run without Joe Burrow, that's not good at all for Chase Brown.
Well, see, I've actually seen the opposite with Browning, that the checkdowns went way up. Now, obviously, this year this game we saw him come in and play Minnesota and struggle, because a lot of people struggle against Minnesota. You got a backup quarterback, a bad offensive line. They're going to struggle. But I actually saw before that game started that the tight end and running back receiving target percentage went up a good bit with Browning on the last go round. So
interesting. I just meant like the field gets tighter because the defense isn't
sure.
the
running lanes are going to be harder, but for sure.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Like you went from Joe Burrow, which was like the best arm in the league, like the best quarterback as far like the best non-running quarterback in the league, to Jake Browning. Yeah. Right. So that's what I was saying. It's just not going to be as easy as the offense isn't going to be marching up and down the field, getting all the opportunities to score those, PPR points that we wanted. I mean, in Dynasty, I would probably still rather have Chase Brown than ET, but like the original, like part of your point was ET might not be on the Jags next year. Well, look at Javonte Williams that just popped up on the Cowboys, right? Mm-hmm. If ET popped up on the Cowboys next year, like it's probably a really good thing. Right. So ET still has value, but I could definitely, he's resurrected value 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. It was Bigsby, it was Tootin, it was Etienne, it was anybody's guess. Anybody. It was anybody's guess. And to your credit, you always said Etienne in second round. Etienne, in the 10th round. 10th round Etienne is ridiculous, and that proved to be a fantastic call. Etienne has been a really good fantasy point scoring running back, through a couple weeks, and plenty of usage, obviously. And Tank Bigsby gets traded. Come on. But I could move on from ET if you got a trade to throw my way.
You buy him for a 2.
Sure.
Absolutely. Travis Etienne in a 3 or DeAndre Swift. That's Travis Etienne.
Etienne.
I asked Chase Brown. They had Dante Thornton tagged in with Chase Brown right there, which was the original first question. Let's see here. Ricky, that doesn't even make sense. Ricky Pearsall in a first for Travis Etienne. That's a bad trade.
That's not a real trade.
Let's see here. 2 2s for Etienne. 27 and a 26.
26, 27. If you're really good and you're like, I got a team where I had Tank Bigsby as my second running back. I got every other position is my starting positions are studs, and Tank Bigsby's backing up Saquon now. So I could see that potentially being a spot where all right, I could. If you're raking me over the coals here, and I got to give you my second round pick next year and the second round pick after that, and I got a really good team, that's fine. But other than that, I probably don't want to go 2 2s for Etienne right this minute.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Like you said, if I'm a good team, and I especially just if I like to spread it out through 2 years, I could probably figure out the 27 one from 2 years from now or whatever.
Yeah, we're talking trades here, of course, is moves to make. This is what we're going to do every week. But I gotta the value of rookie draft picks is skyrocketing. Doesn't matter. Every year, it's just rookie fever. I've been talking. Me and we've been talking about this for years. I feel like we've been beating this drum for 5 years now. Every year it comes around, and the draft picks are so valuable. Sure, you move away from it, like Jonathan Mingo. That didn't feel good, and you took that draft, but you made that. Yeah, I'm not saying you have to make the picks, but I'm saying when your rookie draft gets here, do you have picks? Can you move around with them? What are you doing with them? Can you trade them for starters? Can you put them in packages and start and level up a starter? That's why I'm I don't really know if I want to give away my 2 2s. Just emptying out the war chest there for Etienne. Just those picks are just getting
I just you're getting 16 points a game here right now from him. You're not getting that from a whole lot of running backs right now. Hell, you're not getting that from a whole lot of other players right now, and from some studs. And so it's certainly tantalizing. This last one was Juwan Jennings and Jake Ferguson at half-point PPR for Etienne. So that's a good trade, because you just got, obviously Ferguson has been solid and always is solid when healthy and Dak's healthy. And then you lost CD, so he just had a record target amount. That to me is hey, obviously I don't want to lose Jake Ferguson in half-point premium right now. But if I'm struggling to fill my running back spot out, my RB2 spot or whatever, tossing those 2 guys for Etienne, and I got a good team, that feels like I'm giving away bench players because I probably wasn't depending on Jake Ferguson in general. Not to say that I wouldn't, and I certainly have. But that feels like a nice bench move to grab yourself a locked in what seems to be for the foreseeable future. And like, unless Etienne gets hurt this year, he's probably going somewhere else and probably going to get another opportunity to have a pretty solid role elsewhere.
Yeah, that's a fine point. I'll just say about like Ferguson's volume is probably going to be fine. Maybe it changes next year. He is paid. And Dak is paid, so they should be together. Obviously, thankfully, CD didn't break something. They're supposed to be reevaluating in 2 weeks. So of course, it's the Cowboys and whatever. Like, he might not play for 4 weeks, but he's not like dead for the year. But that being said, like, Jake Ferguson was on a couple of my benches. Guess where he's at now? Starting
he's in the lineup for sure. Yeah.
Starting lineup. So yeah, it would probably have to be I would have to be in very bad spot running back wise to have. I don't think I'd be giving you Jake.
Well, let's
Ferguson
put it this way: last year you were up a creek with Jake Ferguson. So that value's been all over the place.
Exactly. I know. I'm just saying, but like right this second, the new information is Jake Ferguson should be in your lineup
right now for the next couple of weeks. But I feel like you're taking good advantage because Jennings hasn't been in the lineup. Who knows when he's going to be back in the lineup? And when he was in the lineup last year, he was solid. But he's really hard to start in seasonal stuff. He's been oft injured. So I feel like you're getting a little value on there, and you're getting a bounce back from first. So I can understand it, I guess, of and probably was somebody. Both guys were probably sitting on your bench last year for chunks and going, "Damn, these guys ain't doing nothing for me." So, but that's how this works. So, all right, let's go to Ricky Pearsall to close this thing out because you and I we're giving Ricky all sorts of love right now. He's third in yards out of all the wide receivers. He's got 33.5% of the team receiving market share. That's 10th overall. His yards per target is 6th overall, 11.17. That's with an 8 target minimum. 17.56 yards per route run. That's good.
Pretty decent.
He's got the most hero catches, which is, like crazy, extraordinary catches. It's only 2, but he's number 1. First downs per route run.
Only 2.
First downs per route run. It is only week 3 though. So, first down per route run, he's 11th. First read target share, he's 24th. Expected fantasy points per route run, he's 22nd. And doing all this, obviously all the guys are all, you're missing Ayuk, you're missing Jennings, you're missing Cowing, you're missing your rookie and Jordan Watkins. All these guys eventually are coming. You're missing Kittle. All these guys eventually are coming back, you would say. And you've also been with a backup quarterback for 2 of these games. So your target percentage is only at 20.9. That's 33rd overall. That's still pretty solid, but it's not like up there with those like elite numbers. But you've always kind of had this with San Fran where the efficiency of the target is always so powerful,
of course,
over there. So it doesn't need to be. So you could make the argument, hey, these guys come back. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey has a crazy target share, which is probably going to continue. But these guys come back and maybe it gets redistributed. So maybe you should get out of your Ricky Pearsall. I say not so fast. I say I'm so in on Ricky Pearsall unless I can really, really substantially upgrade.
I don't. Ayuk come whenever Ayuk comes back. I'm Ricky Pearsall. I'm buying. I'm fine. He's proven that the last 2 games last year wasn't a fluke, right? Mm-hmm. He's doing everything we're asking him to do. With the backup quarterback, he just went 10 for 100 in a grinded out game in the division where the Cardinals and the Niners apparently play every game like that. So says the Niners fan Casey, right? So like
they play a lot of them. There's a lot of grind out games against them.
Yeah, and he just went for 10 for 100. I mean, yeah, maybe like you said, every target in this offense seems to be a little bit more efficient than the average target in the NFL. But maybe you give a couple more, if you add Kittle and you add Ayuk and you add Jennings, maybe he's not getting 14 targets in a game. But
they're also going to score more points. They're also going to
who else in the league is getting 14 targets like Puka, right? So like I'm buying Ricky Pearsall. I'm not paying Puka prices for him, but right now he's getting Puka usage. And of course, right now might only be 3 more weeks whenever Ayuk's coming back, but like he's earning it. And like, it ain't like Ayuk was the team's favorite player before he got hurt, and I just would be blown away if I'd be blown away if Ayuk was on the team for 2 more years.
What's again? Ayuk never had a crazy high target share because that was always a little bit of a knock, was that it wasn't something like the crazy elite numbers, but it was always very efficient because that's kind of what they do. They put and they scored a lot of points in those years. And I think though when that squad kind of reunites a little bit, I think you could say some of this stuff will go down for Ricky, but I think the overall points, first downs, ball move, everything should go up a little bit as, hey, we're scoring more points, as far we're not, we're going to be closer to the 24, 27 points a game rather than 16, 18 points a game. So
buying Ricky Pearsall.
So Ricky Pearsall or Khalil Shakir? Pearsall, right? Ricky Pearsall or a first next year? Pearsall, agreed. Ricky Pearsall or Trey Benson in a third? I think we did this already.
Pearsall.
I think I lean slightly to the Pearsall side. Ricky Pearsall and Terry McLaurin in a first.
I mean, McLaurin helps. I want Pearsall on my team, but I guess McLaurin in a first is pretty nice.
Yeah.
That's one flip.
Knowing how this has gone for Travis Hunter over the last few weeks and what we're seeing, would you rather have Pearsall, Woody Marks, and a 28th third, or Travis Hunter?
Pearsall.
I think so. It's just safe. It's a safe asset, and Marks is a fun kicker there, and you get the third.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty safe there. How about RJ Harvey or Ricky Pearsall?
Pearsall.
Okay.
It's safer. Well, obviously RJ Harvey's ticked down a little bit, and Pearsall's come up. Where every mock draft Monday, I was like, Pearsall should be off the board by now, right? Like so like I already had Pearsall much farther up there than the general market, and then he comes out here and he's doing this. Like that's what I wanted. That's why I wanted to take him.
Ricky Pearsall or a 26 first for Ladd and a 26 second. So pick swap, Ladd or Pearsall.
Pearsall in a first or Ladd in a 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably closer than it should than you expect. Like obviously Ladd's not just out here burning it up.
Yeah. Well, and we just like we mentioned that maybe probably wrong on the J.K. Dobbins thing, and we'll see how long that lasts and how the offense is definitely getting less checkdowns to the running backs and definitely more feature of J.K. Dobbins, even though it's still not a crazy amount of touches. Keenan Allen's over there and Quinton Johnston's over there making plays for LA, right? And Gadsden came in and caught some balls, and Amarion Hampton caught some balls this week. So a lot more target distribution right now for LA than previous stuff. I think it's still Ladd there. All right, George Pickens or Ricky Pearsall?
Whoa, wow,
give me pretty Ricky. Slick Rick.
Yeah, I could take Pearsall there. I don't mind the idea. Redraft, I could stick with Pickens just in case, but I could take Pearsall, and it's much safer with Pearsall in Dynasty.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's kind of the market watch for today. Ricky Pearsall. Oh, this is one quarterback. I don't like that as much. So, all right. Yeah, I don't really have anything else great to throw out there for this one. And we'll leave you with this. George Pickens, we mentioned on the football show. If you're not tuning in, we're live Mondays at 11. Wednesdays we're live at 9 p.m. I mentioned I think I might be getting a separation from George Pickens. We're just going to go live in separate places for a little while. You there yet? Or are you still? Hey, just be patient.
No, third game with a new team, new quarterback, and CeeDee Lamb's over there. The first week he did a lot of clearing out and made CeeDee Lamb's life easy. Remember, CeeDee Lamb was supposed to score 1 million fantasy points after week 1. Of course, he probably was still on his way to doing that. He got his ankle almost snapped. But a couple of big time pass interference penalties that Pickens has been drawing. A couple of balls I thought he could have caught.
Don't get fantasy points for that though.
No, you don't. But it's it's like he does have the ability to catch them.
Sure.
And it probably 1 or 2 could have still caught. Probably 1 or 2 should have caught. And I saw somebody like slam dunking on him because the ball went off his hands and he got the interception. Like, dude, that happens every week in the NFL.
Yeah.
If it happens,
that has nothing to do with because of that. I don't care about that play. That is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just like, we've had 22 targets, 13 receptions, 166 yards, and 2 TDs. It just to me, like it just hasn't amounted to what I would want it to amount. I want to be Ricky Pearsall excited about George Pickens right now in the situation that he's in, and it's not quite there necessarily. 9 targets for 5 yards and 68 in the last 2 games, which is not. It's a good game, right? I'm not saying that isn't. I might be ready to kind of move on to somebody in that realm and just downshift or laterally shift to, somebody else.
Okay. I mean, he's got two touchdowns in 3 weeks. And plenty of targets. Not enough targets. I didn't think he got enough targets week 1. It was the first week with a new team. Like it just.
Yeah.
I'm not. I know you're not going full divorce papers. You're just separating. I'm not separating yet. I mean, okay. We might not be sitting on the same side of the couch.
Definitely not.
Right? I might need a minute. I might need a minute by myself.
Yeah. But all right, let's wrap this one up. We'll catch you next week. We'll be back. Make sure you check out the Joseph Show where we talk a lot more analytics of football for that side of things. The P-Whopper's been in fuego. If you're not checking that out, it's a fantastic stat. We're doing some buy lows over there as well. So make sure you're checking that out. We've got a lot of good stuff on the docket. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you want more content, we're going to talk about Travis Hunter. We're going to talk about Woody Marks. We're going to talk about some other guys on the Patreon on Wednesday night. So make sure you come over, check that out. If you want some more episodes, you get at least 1 extra episode every week over there. And there's a free Discord. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you check that out. So appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks.